On August 15, 1977, a radio astronomer at Ohio State University sat down to review the previous night's computer printout. His name was Jerry Amon. He worked at a facility called Big Ear, a massive radio telescope the size of 3 football fields, designed to scan the sky for signals from other civilizations. He found one, or something that looked exactly like one. He circled it with a red pen and wrote a single word in the margin. Wow. That annotation became the name of the event. Nearly 50 years later, we still don't know what caused it. What SETI was looking for. To understand why the wow signal was so significant, you need to understand what radio astronomers were actually trying to detect. Since the 1960s, a group of scientists had been working under a simple premise. If intelligent civilizations exist out there, they might be broadcasting radio waves, the same way we do. Not because they're trying to reach us specifically, but because radio waves travel at the speed of light, penetrate interstellar space, and are cheap to produce in large quantities. But what frequency would they use? The answer, most scientists agreed, was hydrogen. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe. Any civilization advanced enough to build a radio transmitter would know this. The hydrogen line, 1420 MHz, is a naturally occurring radio frequency emitted by hydrogen atoms in space. It's a universal constant. If you were an alien civilization trying to send a signal that any other civilization could find, you would aim for this frequency. It's the one channel that makes sense to both sides. The Big Ear telescope was pointed at the sky, scanning for exactly this. And on the night of August 15th, 1977, something answered. The signal itself. What Amon found in that printout was not a blip. It was a structured sequence. The signal came in at precisely the hydrogen line frequency. It was narrowband, meaning it occupied an extremely specific, tight slice of the radio spectrum, the kind of signal that natural sources don't typically produce. Cosmic background noise is broadband. This was not. It was also extraordinarily loud. The wow. Signal registered at roughly 30 times the background noise level. In signal processing, this is called a 30 sigma event. Events at 3 sigma are considered statistically significant. Events at 30 sigma are, by any reasonable standard, not explainable as random noise. And here is the detail that matters most. The Big Ear telescope was fixed. It didn't move. The Earth rotated, which meant any point in the sky would drift through the telescope's field of view over exactly 72 seconds, rising in intensity, then falling, tracing a specific bell-shaped curve. This is called the beam pattern. The wow signal followed that curve exactly. That means whatever produced it was fixed in space, not moving relative to the stars. That rules out Earth-based interference, which produces a flat or irregular response. It rules out satellites, which move. It points towards something deep in space, in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, somewhere beyond our solar system. Amon circled it. He wrote his single word. He sent the printout to his colleagues. And then, the signal was never detected again. The silence after. This is where the story gets uncomfortable. Big Ear re-examined that region of the sky dozens of times over the following years. Nothing. The SETI Institute pointed more powerful telescopes at Sagittarius, scanning at the hydrogen line frequency with far more sensitive equipment than existed in 1977. Nothing. The Allen Telescope Array, the Parkes Observatory, the Arecibo Telescope, before it collapsed in 2020, they all looked. Nothing came back. The wow signal lasted 72 seconds. That is the entire duration of our contact, if contact is what it was. 72 seconds out of the 50 years we've been systematically listening. Since that single moment, the universe has been quiet. This silence is almost stranger than the signal itself. A civilization capable of transmitting something that loud would need enormous power, and would presumably broadcast continuously, or at least repeatedly, unless they weren't broadcasting at us at all. Unless we caught the edge of something not aimed in our direction, a beacon sweeping through the galaxy, the way a lighthouse sweeps a harbour. And we happened to be in the right place, at the right moment, for exactly 72 seconds. Or it was something else entirely. The explanations that don't quite work. In 2016, an astronomer named Antonio Paris proposed a new explanation. Comets. His argument was this. 2 comets were passing through the vicinity of Sagittarius in 1977. Comets release clouds of hydrogen gas as they interact with solar radiation. This hydrogen could, in theory, emit a radio signal at the hydrogen line frequency. The scientific community was skeptical, immediately. The problem is that comets are moving objects. A comet would not produce the fixed beam pattern that the WOW. Signal followed, the clean bell curve of something stationary in space. Additionally, several astronomers ran the calculations and found that comets simply don't release hydrogen densely enough to produce a signal 30 times above background noise. The math didn't work. Paris's hypothesis was published, it was debated, and then it was largely dismissed. This matters, because the comet explanation was the most credible natural explanation anyone ever proposed. If it doesn't hold up, we're left with very little. Natural astrophysical sources, pulsars, magnetars, gamma-ray bursts, don't match the signal's narrow bandwidth. Earth-based interference doesn't match its spatial behavior. Known satellites don't match its trajectory. Every explanation runs into a wall somewhere in the data. The WOW. Signal remains officially unexplained. What it would mean? Let's stay with the other possibility for a moment. If the WOW signal was produced by an intelligent civilization, we can make some rough estimates. The signal came from the direction of Sagittarius, at a distance somewhere between 1,000 and 15,000 light-years. We don't know the exact source, but we can estimate what a transmitter would need to produce a signal that's strong. By current analysis, a civilization broadcasting at that intensity would require a transmitter with a power output measured in billions of watts. That is far beyond anything we have built, but it is not physically impossible. It is simply beyond where we currently are. And here's the part that's difficult to sit with. That civilization sent this signal somewhere between 1,000 and 15,000 years ago. Whatever left their transmitter arrived at our telescope in 1977. But it was already ancient when it got here. What they looked like, what they wanted, whether they still exist. We have no way to know. We received 72 seconds. We sent nothing back because we didn't understand what we had received until the next morning, when Eamon sat down with his printout and reached for his pen. By the time we understood it, the moment was already 1,000 years old. The bigger silence, the WOW, signal fits into a question much older than itself. The universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old. Our galaxy contains somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars. A significant fraction of those have planets. A fraction of those are in the habitable zone of their star. Given billions of years and the chemistry we know is common throughout the cosmos, the probability of life arising somewhere seems not just possible, it seems inevitable. And yet, nothing. No confirmed contact, no verifiable transmission, no evidence of anyone else. This is the Fermi paradox. Where is everybody? The WOW signal is the closest we've come to an answer, and the answer it offers is 72 seconds of something we can't explain, followed by decades of silence. That silence could mean many things. That intelligent life is extraordinarily rare, that it's common but doesn't last, that civilizations exist but don't broadcast, that we're looking in the wrong direction with the wrong instruments for the wrong kind of signal. That the WOW signal was natural after all, and we simply haven't figured out the right explanation yet. But there's another possibility that nobody particularly likes. Maybe they did broadcast. Once. Long ago. And they stopped. The telescope that no longer exists. The Big Ear facility, where Jerry Eamon made his discovery, was demolished in 1997. The land was sold. A golf course was built on the site. The field where the telescope once stood and where the closest thing to first contact in human history may have occurred is now a fairway. The search continues at other observatories. Modern equipment is vastly more sensitive than anything that existed in 1977. If something like the WOW signal were transmitted today and aimed in our direction, we would detect it immediately and begin tracking it in real time. It hasn't come back. Eamon himself spent decades trying to find a conventional explanation. He was a scientist, not a storyteller, and he understood the weight of extraordinary claims. In his later analyses, he concluded only that the signal was interesting and unexplained. He did not claim it was alien. He did not claim it was not. He just wrote one word. And 50 years later, we haven't written anything better. The universe is vast and old and almost entirely silent. But on one night, in one field in Ohio, something spoke. We don't know who.